Internet, hello, and welcome back to OKLCS Season 3, Week 6. We've just seen 3 gold cap games. The last one, Tastes Like Purple, took the win over Full Metal Bottom Lane in a very nice game on both sides. In this game, we have the David versus Goliath of gold cap this split.
Based on, standings.
Yeah, currently 4-0 Trill Boys up against currently 0-4 SWOSU LOL Club. Really trying to find their first win. Trill Boys trying to continue their streak throughout Gold Capped. We'll go ahead and, without further ado, jump into that game right now.
Yep.
Go ahead and start that one up. And we are going to see another Galio, Cade Trillium, pulling it out in the top lane this time.
Yeah, very strong pick. Already has some pretty hefty nerf for the PvE, honestly. Not anything that'll make it unviable, but it's a strong pick. It's a little bit...
we say nerfs won't make you unviable, but a lot of times they end up doing it. We just have to wait and see, really. There's no way to predict.
For me, it seemed like, with how strong Galio seems right now, it just seemed like it wouldn't make him unviable, the level of the nerfs. But I could be wrong. But yeah, I mean, he's a pretty team comp dependent champion. You know, he needs his team comp to be suited to him, and you kind of want to. I mean, just because he has a lot of magic resist scalings in his kit and a magic resist only, or in a magic damage shield, you kind of want to pick him into teams that have more magic damage. You know, just so those things are a bit more
you got
efficient.
The perfect setup here. You got Cho'Gath, you got a Swain.
Even
Shyvana does, like, partial, actually a pretty significant part of her damage.
Yeah, honestly, it tends to lean towards magic sometimes. But the way her percent max health damage on hit after she hits somebody with Flame Breath works. And Burnout, of course. That's a pretty big damage dealer, too. But yeah. A lot of damage there. We're seeing Cho'Gath. A lot of people... He doesn't have the highest win rates right now, but a lot of people have these experiences on him where it just gets downright impossible to do anything against him with how tanky he can become. And when they made those changes to make him a lot...
Jack, it seems like you're speaking from experience here.
Oh, no. It's I've been... seeing it on the internet, people like posting little videos and stuff, and obviously, you know, one game isn't.
It's very anecdotal.
Yeah. That's very anecdotal. But I've seen it so many places, and when you watch the video, it does actually seem pretty crazy, and it makes you think that maybe there are some situations which it can be pretty strong.
Oh, Cade Trillium making good use of that Galio passive.
Yeah.
He's just going very aggressive onto Creditor Anthony. There's a lot of damage from Winds of War. This ability does too much damage.
Yes, it does do too much damage. Riot seems to think so. They are making it to where it will pretty much do less damage all the time unless you're going a pretty AP-oriented
build.
Yeah.
Gettysburg gonna use that EQ to zone away guitars in the mid lane.
Yeah. Galio...
Justice Punch comes out. Creditor Anthony takes a lot of damage. Cade Trillium using that Winds of War and that, I don't know what the passive is called.
His passive? Yeah, I don't remember.
Galio's passive? Like, I know all of his other abilities. I made sure to learn them because I knew people were going to play him in the OKLCS, and I forgot about the passive, and then I never got around to it.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. There's the taunt. He's going to throw out the Winds of War, and the Justice Punch keeps him in place, but not quite enough damage with the Flash.
But is he going to go down?
Yeah, he's definitely going down. First blood for Cade Trillium solo kill, but he does end up giving his life. There's this snare from Gettysburg onto guitars. Takes out about half of his HP, throws out the ball, but here's the gank from Ahaze, and Gettysburg is caught in between Shaco. He's speared up by the box, and he's ignited, but he flashes away and uses his ghost, but he's gonna die anyway. Flash from guitars! He's like, didn't have confidence in the ignite to kill him.
It looked like Swain was regenerating health somewhat fast. I think it was, well, did you kind of see it? His health
probably
was
popped some
fluctuating.
potions.
Yeah, I think it was because he popped some potions. He might have got a little bit worried when he saw his health pop back up from one.
Ooh!
Yeah.
Alright, both of the top laners building towards the Rod of Ages.
It could even... I mean, it's probably
GLP?
It could be GLP.
Yeah, you're right.
It's probably... I think for top lane, Galio, it's probably a Rod of Ages. Yeah. You're probably not going to need that power spike that early, and you're just going to sit top farm and be beefy later. So yeah. Rod helps you be beefy better.
In a lot of situations, like, if you know that you're not going to make good use of the active...
Yeah.
And like, more than likely, it's like... The lower elo you are, the more comfortable you are going for that Rod of Ages stacking build.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the GLP is much more common when you see a mid lane Galio. He takes Ignite, and you actually do have quite a bit of kill pressure with his damage where it currently is against a lot of mages.
Creditor Anthony getting bullied out by K Trillium on this Galio pick. But here comes Redwater. There's the silence onto K Trillium from the Vorpal Scream. He gets the taunt off onto Redwater. He's doing a lot of damage. Justice Punch blocked up by Creditor Anthony. Throws down the Rupture to put down the knockup, but he's out of mana. Redwater had to flash out. And K Trillium, Spicy Weave, gonna take some damage from Texture. Throws out the Peltivar Peacemaker, and that's a squishy Zyra. K Trillium moving forward. He's gotten tower aggro. Takes like 3 tower shots. Pops that shield to Duran too early to get the damage reduction.
Yeah, Galio's rework is in a vague sense.
Ooh. Go on.
No, sorry, I was watching the trade happen. In a vague.
Ozzy actually taking a lot of damage. The 90 caliber net comes across. Exhaust onto Spicy Weave. Texture coming out, putting down some damage, and Ozzy gets the heal off. Thunder Lords onto Spicy Weave, but comes out ahead there.
Yeah. Well, anyway, Galio's rework is kind of in a vague sense the direction that Riot's going with the whole Vanguard thing. You know, some more unique kind of, because Galio, if you have played him, you can tell that there's a lot more skill room for skill expression there than there is on a champion like Sejuani.
Like, it's a champion that you can outplay people with, but you can also
mess up.
You can also mess up. Compared to like Maokai, where it's like I pressed W on that guy and he couldn't do anything about it.
Like the W slows you. It's good CC and good damage reduction, you know, helping that identity of a tank, but it makes you move slower. It charges up. You kind of have to be smart about how you use it. Make sure you actually land it on people. People might dodge it if you charge it for too long. That kind of thing. Justice Punch, pretty telegraphed, but it's pretty powerful. It's mobility and some CC, but it's not too much mobility.
I kind of think Justice Punch is actually kind of one of the weaker abilities in Galio's kit, because you can't go over walls with it. It's not a flash buffer. It's not a flash bufferable CC ability. It's it blocks itself. When you try and use it as an escape.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. I'm just talking about like the whole Vanguard thing. You know what I mean?
Hold on a second. Like, AK's gonna gank onto Gettysburg. He gets the shockwave off of the invisible Shaco, and Gettysburg just falls down
once again. But that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, it's not a very good escape if someone's right on your tail, and it can't go over walls, so you can't make any plays like that.
It can also be very easily blocked by the tank.
Yes. And so, but that's kind of that's what they're kind of trying to do with Vanguards. You know, they want to give them some mobility without making it overpowered. They want some tanks who can jump in there, kind of move around, put some CC down, and have some skill expression. That's kind of what they want to do with some of these tanks that are just initiation tanks, who basically just press a bunch of buttons that don't really...
I just think the ability overall, even like with the purposes of the rework in mind, is just kind of a weak ability.
Mm-hmm. It's fun though. I enjoy it. It's just you get to move around.
Right, so looks like Gettysburg picks up the revolver. That might be him going for the Hextech GLP. Because, you know, on Swain you're gonna need the mana, but with the revolver it makes me think, you know, I'm gonna not go for the Rod of Ages, I'm gonna go for that GLP. There's the taunt coming out, shield to Durand onto Creditor Anthony. He does miss the Winds of War, however. Unfortunately, Creditor Anthony not gonna be able to trade back very well onto him.
Yeah.
Only 20. He's down 28 to 52 CS, but here comes Guardian Shinobi and Gettysburg. Arcane Shift dodges away from the Never Move. Gettysburg trying to do what he can, and Texture gets taken out by the Ravenous Flock. K Trillium now autoing onto Creditor Anthony. They're just slowly whittling away at each other. Both of them pick up the Catalyst.
Yeah. But for instance, kind of like, just talking about the Vanguard, like, that's just kind of the direction they're trying to take him. So Zach's probably going to lose a lot of that kind of crazy burst he has on his E, you know?
Hayes comes in, reveals himself, and...
Not quite close enough.
SWOSU LOL Club bottom lane able to walk their way out of there. Redwater has the Dragon's Descent ready, did not choose to go onto guitars because he had the Shockwave available. He already just chunked him down. Hayes in the bottom lane, uses the Monsoon from Guardian Shinobi to disengage that. And in the past weeks, he's actually seen Guardian Shinobi as a middle laner. He's moved to support.
Yeah, a little bit of shifts around on the team.
K Trillium just bullying Predator Anthony really hard. Yeah, and Orianna naturally building into that Morellonomicon. Good for the Grievous wounds up against Swain.
Especially
and
up against the Swain.
He's using the Hallucinate to take away the Ocean Dragon by himself. It will be a quick objective over to Trill Boys. Cade Trillium trying to steal away the red buff. He's actually not at full health. Redwater might... Okay, Redwater does secure it with that twin bite.
He didn't have a lot of mana there either.
Creditor Anthony sees Cade... Or he doesn't see him, but like, he knows Cade Trillium hopped himself over the wall with the Blast Cone. And they got Trill Boys bottom lane here in the mid. Looking for a play onto Gettysburg, but they don't know that Creditor Anthony as well as Redwater are here. Shockwave used onto Gettysburg. He flashes away from that one. Creditor Anthony, True Shot Barrage almost takes him out. The flash forward from Guitar secures the kill, but now he gets Dragon's Descendant into the tower. He's running for his life. He gets smited by Redwater, but the nice Strangle Thorns keeps Creditor Anthony from chasing. Redwater trying to find him. He gets one auto attack. He needs the flamethrower, but he gets taken out. It's like another kill over to the Trill Boys.
We have a pretty big wave here in the bot lane, though. Janna shielded Caitlyn for the bonus AD.
Yeah.
They're going to try to take that tower, but it doesn't
I think the Trill Boys are going to get the first tower here in the mid with all 5 members. They do secure tower first blood. They've got huge CS leads in mid and in top. They've got a dragon. They've got tower first blood. Answered back.
Have a pretty large CS lead in the jungle. Too,
oh yeah,
honestly,
which is surprising because of Shyvana, more farm-oriented jungler, gank-oriented on the side of Ahaze as Shaco. He's just I don't know what's happening. Redwater's been having a lot of unsuccessful ganks. And a lot of that goes towards that jungle pathing that we've been talking about. Cade Trillium greeds for the big raptor. He's probably going to give his life for it. Flashes over the side. Never move. Not going to land.
You know, Galio's Q is something that totally looks like it would slow, but it doesn't.
I know, right? I think the same thing every time.
I mean, he's a tank, you know, you just kind of expect it to.
I mean, that's a lot of CC in it.
That's true. That'd be a lot of
Redwater
CC.
going in onto Ahaze, and here, but here comes the hero's entrance, knocks Redwater into the air, and the Justice Punch secures the kill.
Though it's not that reliable, we talked about that earlier, Justice Punch actually does a fair bit of damage. You know, one workaround you can do when playing Galio is if you back up to a wall and use Justice Punch, you don't rear back. You stand still.
Guitars gets caught by the Never Move. 90 caliber net attempted to be used there, but Spicy Weed actually takes a lot of damage from those plants. Alright, so the Rod of Ages is finally finished off for Cade Trillium. Gonna have that stacking up for the next 10 minutes or so. Yeah, and it will be the Hextech GLP coming out of Gettysburg on this Swain. He is pretty far behind though. Cade Trillium shoving in on the top side of the map. Ooh, Redwater actually getting jumped on by Ahaze. Dragon's Ascent defensively. He's going to make it out back to his team. Never Move, not going to land on the texture. Gettysburg taking a lot of plant damage. It's just autoing him down. He's going to throw down the Ravenous Block, but not got a whole lot of feeling. And Ahaze delivers the ball invisibly again! The Gettysburg now getting focused down. Ozzy flashes forward for the last auto attack. It will only be the one kill, but a really nice execution by the Trill Boys.
Yeah, it looks like Galio has used his Q to bully the Cho'Gath out of lane once again. Galio was under tower for the majority of that, and then that wins the war. He has hit level 9, you know, so he has that quite fully upgraded Q, and it's doing a lot of damage. Cho'Gath has only really itemized armor and health as well.
Oh, no. Redwater about to get executed! That's so many minions! What? What just happened?
Yeah, that doesn't really provide that much benefit to the Trill Boys, but that's like psychological warfare. Like, not that they do.
That's demoralizing, is what it is.
Yeah.
And actually, it does secure them quite a bit because he wasn't able to clear out this big minion wave.
Right, yeah.
And now their jungler's dead for like 20 seconds. They're able to get the tower in the bottom lane. And
I didn't even expect the minions to do that much damage.
you see him going very low. You see all the minion auto attacks converging on that one point. A-Haze delivers the ball, but not the shockwave. A-Haze gonna get focused down by Spicy Weave. Not too much damage though to follow. A little bit of a loss of execution there. The Shaco Oriana combination though doing pretty well.
Yeah, they're making really good use of that.
Reminds you of the good old Shaco Tarek we saw a lot in Season 1. I think that was Retribution.
I do remember that, yeah.
Right. Trill boys looking for an engage over the side. Spicy Weave gets caught by the grasping roots. They use the Monsoon to disengage. Cade Trillium slowed up, not getting it knocked into the air by the Rupture. Predator Anthony moving forward, looking for the Vorpal Scream. Oh, Redwater Dragon's Descent misses both of the Trill boys. Here's the hero's entrance to disengage. Uses Cade Trillium's ultimate there. The grasping root's gonna find Redwater, and Predator Anthony gonna be the target now. They don't have Shockwave because of that botched execution in the bottom lane. Cade Trillium just really putting Predator Anthony behind. He's 115 to 52 CS now. Guitars, to his credit, also really bullying Gettysburg in terms of CS, 55 up. And yeah, like you would kind of expect, Redwater's caught up in CS. Interesting smite. Redwater's caught up in CS compared to A-Haze. Sort of just how you expect a Shyvana to go. Oh, Redwater caught on a ward. Trill boys have so much vision control in the blue side jungle of SWOSU LOL Club.
Yeah, they've grown their lead to be 7K. That's pretty huge in 17 minutes.
Yeah, and the Trill boys, one thing that's been constant throughout their games is the fact that when they do get a lead, they've been doing a really good job of pushing that lead and extending it to the point where it's what is the word I'm looking for? You can't come back from it, is what I mean. I know the word, but I can't think of it right now. Yeah, and now Redwater is going for the Trinity Force as his second item on this Shyvana, which really is a lot of wasted stats, and you don't even benefit that much from it, compared to like Frozen Mallet, or Titanic Hydra, or Blade of the Rune King. Any of those would be...
Blade of the Rune King's pretty good on her too, especially with how her Q functions.
Yeah, it would just be a lot better to get one of those as your second offensive item, if you even choose to go a second offensive item. Which I don't think you need, but I think if you ask me, Frozen Mallet is the best of those options. Oh, Texture is going to be the target of the Dragon's Descent, but not a whole lot of damage to follow up. Gettysburg almost gets soloed out in the top. Not soloed out, but taken out.
Taken out in the top lane. Flashes away to dodge the Justice Punch.
Yeah, but Cade Trillium and Guitar is going to get the inhib tower in the top. They have Spicy Weave and Guardian Shinobi here, but that's no engage CC, so they're going to be able to just walk their way out of there. And now Redwater, now the focus of Aussie, gets about half of his health off with those autos.
We've got 5 members here. They're going to try and hold this tower. They do have an open inhib in the top lane. Whew, that was a close call.
The Hextech GLP comes out for Gettysburg, but look at the build. I mean, Predator Anthony, he's delayed what looks like he's going to be building a Rod of Ages very late.
I think Cade Trillium might have forgotten he had Justice Punch over walls there.
Nope, did not do that. A-Haze looking for some damage on the Spicy Weave. I mean, just so many questionable item choices by the SWOSU LOL Club this game. The Trinity Force on Shyvana, the very, very, not even completed yet Rod of Ages from
Cho'Gath.
Yeah, Predator Anthony. Redwater taking a lot of damage. A nice 4-man Rupture. Predator Anthony gets the first kill of the fight. Ace in the hole. Blocked up onto Guitars. He gets Command Protect out. Aussie had to Arcane Shift over the side of the wall. Cade Trillium now the target of 3 members of the SWOSU LOL Club. He Justice punches in. He's delivering the ball after the taunt. Shockwave pulls in 2. Creditor Anthony flashes away. Spicy Weave now getting targeted by A. Hayes. Gettysburg looking for it. True Shot Barrage comes across from Aussie off the side. Not going to find anyone else. It's going to be a 1-for-1 at the end, except Guardian Shinobi is caught by Cade Trillium. Monsoon not going to be able to disengage that one entirely. He has to flash himself out of there. A. Hayes here gets knocked up by the Rupture. That is the real one he got knocked up, but the clone that will die.
Right, they do still have an open inhib that hasn't been taken. I'm surprised Shaco hasn't tried to
taunt
sneak up
on
there
the
and take
Creditor
it.
Anthony, knock up from the Justice Punch, and A. Hayes comes in for the backstab. Now Spicy Weave needs to be very careful here. He's at half health. There's a 303 Shaco waiting in the wings just for you. And A. Hayes gonna deceive away from that never move. All right.
Alright, so when they had lost that fight, they actually hadn't backed in quite some time.
Deceives into the SWOSU LOL Club.
They hadn't backed in quite some time, and I can expect that when they come back, they're going to be quite. Yeah, look at the gold. Just not even the team gold, just individually.
Yeah, they're all very much ahead.
Galio is insanely ahead of Cho'Gath right now. Shaco insanely ahead of Shyvana.
Spicy Weave just gets caught by A. Hayes.
Orianna insanely ahead of Galio. They're almost 4,000 apiece in those solo lanes.
Yeah, the Dragon's Descent forward, the Grasping, or the Stranglethorn zones away Creditor Anthony, who actually just dies to guitars. The double kill goes over.
Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. When they lost that last fight, they hadn't backed in a while. They had a lot of gold just chilling in their inventory, but now they've spent it all. And it's
Rabadons.
Yeah, they're gonna really push hard with that gold. They have 3 members of the enemy team down. They don't have a mini wave here yet, but there is an open inhib in the top lane. They're gonna move their way up there, try and take that, leave somebody mid to push up the wave. It's only a Janna.
Yeah, Trill Boy's gonna
Redwater and
Piltover Peacemaker catches
up.
Texture.
And Texture's getting pretty low. Doesn't have any way to sustain here.
Never move comes out. Guitars actually chunks Gettysburg. He gets knocked into the air by that one. Silenced up by the Vorpal Scream. Here comes the hero's entrance. Keeps himself safe. And now Cade Trillium says, guys, let's get this in here. Creditor Anthony gonna get knocked up by the Justice Punch.
Here comes
Redwater, but there's no Dragon's Descent. He gets caught up by the Grasping Roots and goes down. Ozzy autos him to death after that one. Guardian Shinobi taking some damage from Cade Trillium. Creditor Anthony doing what he can. He has no ultimate range. Not gonna be there. Cade Trillium takes him out. Texture gets just the ace in the hole. There's the Monsoon to keep his team very healthy. Cade Trillium goes low, but he delivers the ball in time. Shockwave catches 2. Gettysburg throws out the Hextech GLP. Ozzy going very low because of the Decrepify.
Despite the gold disadvantage, they are doing a good job in these fights.
Yeah.
SWOSU is.
They trade 3 for... Well, they traded 3 for 1. They lose the Dragon.
Well, it could have been worse, is all I mean. The game could have been closed out there, especially with the gold lead that Trill Boys have. Almost up to 13k. Quite a gold disadvantage. That is like 4 entire high-tiered items completed.
Oh my goodness.
As you can see, Swain is trying to finish his second item currently, whereas Orianna has a Rabadons.
And a Morello, and the Sork Shoes, and building almost finishes off that Void Staff. The Abyssal Scepter, the Rod of Ages, and another Spectre's Cowl for Cade Trillium on this Galio.
Yeah, just going straight magic resist, not really worried about the
Creditor Anthony
Shyvana,
silences up Texture.
Texture
He gets knocked up.
Yep.
Ooh, it just gets feasted on.
A pretty squishy champion, not a big health bar, and that Cho'Gath ult, man.
Yeah, it does a lot of damage. It now scales with HP instead of AP, so makes you building tank Cho'Gath. You still do a massive amount. He only has, of course, the health from that Rod of Ages for 2 minutes, though. So.
That was the odd thing about it for me, is that honestly all the Cho'Gath changes were pretty much buffs, but his win rate went down.
Ace in the hole comes out on the Ace. Because like it makes AP Cho'Gath completely unviable.
So is it really completely though? The only nerf to AP Cho'Gath was 0.2 AP ratio off the ult.
No, the entire AP ratio off the ultimate.
Oh, I thought they lowered it.
No, the AP ratio is off the ultimate. It only has an HP ratio now.
Are you sure? I thought that. I think
almost 100% sure.
I guess I had thought that they put that on the PBE, but when the actual changes came, it was just reduced AP ratio.
We can look it up.
Yeah, let's look it up.
Let's see. Cho'Gath. That's not how you spell Cho'Gath. All right, Trill boys are starting up onto the Baron as we speak. All right, Cho'Gath. Oh,
yeah. See, they only took 0.2 of the AP ratio.
I thought they took the AP ratio
on the PBE. They took off the AP ratio completely, and along with making the changes to his health stacking, but they thought that was too weak, so they put 0.5 on there instead of 0.7. So they only nerfed to Cho'Gath with it, and they have since buffed how much health each stack gives him back to where it's very comparable to the previous levels when it was less consistent. So Cho'Gath is basically, aside from a 0.2 AP ratio off the ult, is basically entirely buffed from his previous state. Yet his win rate has gone down. Which it
is still a nerf if you go full AP Cho'Gath, which I would assume is probably the better solo queue way of playing him. Because if tank Cho'Gath is not, it's just less effective because he doesn't do as well as any other tank.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have the same level and reliability of CC as something like a Maokai or a Nautilus.
I kind of wonder if full AP Cho'Gath, because of the way his more consistent nature of his ultimate now and the fact that it stacks infinitely, giving him a lot more health, and it has a health scaling.
Redwater just falls down to texture. The hero's entrance gonna keep the Trill boys alive. Gettysburg gets knocked up and taken out. Ozzy on a rampage. Spicy Weeb and Predator Anthony just taken out by the winds of war. They get a 3-0 in a fight that they look to be losing. Yeah, and the Trill boys so far ahead right now. It looks like they're gonna just close this one out.
So now I'm actually thinking that maybe with all the changes that have happened, everyone's like, full tank Cho'Gath, look how tanky you can be. But maybe it's full AP Cho'Gath, look how tanky you can be while doing a F ton of damage. Because honestly, the AP ratio is a little bit down on the ult, but the other AP ratios are the same, and your tankiness just became more consistent, and the damage, you still will get substantial damage from that health ratio on the ult, even if you're not going full tank, just from stacking it if you're doing well. So maybe AP Cho'Gath is actually hidden super overpowered, and
maybe.
people are just building tanks.
I have my doubts about what you're saying here, but in the end, the Trill boys will take the win over the SWOSU LOL Club. No David beating Goliath today. Though
they did put up actually a pretty good fight. Yeah. Despite the gold lead, they were doing fairly well in those team fights.
The 20-5 does not tell the full story of this game.
No.
We will throw up the MVP poll for this game. Go ahead and make that right now. Trill versus.
No, that's just my theory crafting. Is that if it was? Yeah,
I'm not convinced to be honest.
No, that's okay. It's just if it was AP Cho'Gath that was making his win rate what it was before the changes. The changes were basically entirely buffs outside of the 0.2 AP ratio off the ultimate, which it's an important AP ratio considering it's like true damage. But I don't know.
Yeah, it's pretty deceptive, like how much that does hurt. But I see what you're saying. I don't think that.
Oh no, I don't know. I haven't tried it. I'm theory crafted here.
Trill
I'm theory crafted
versus SWOSU. Go pop that up. We'll wait around a few minutes to see when those votes come in. Trill versus SWOSU. That is not how you post. There you go. Alright, we will wait for some of the votes to come in. It's just like Cho'Gath, like I kind of like the idea of like a Rod of Ages into tank Cho'Gath, or maybe like Rod of Ages Rylai's into tank Cho'Gath, because like that's a lot of HP. It's enough AP that you are relevant in damage as well as a nice slow on your from your Rylai's. But like it's just so that Cho'Gath doesn't do as much as other tanks do. The only thing he's really got going for him compared to other tanks is the fact that he's got a big true damage nuke, which is good. Like it's good.
With the changes
but
they did
have
make
no gap, you have no gap closer. You have no reliable CC. you have no percent health damage, which is basically something that all tanks have.
Yeah, all tanks pretty much do have that at this point.
Yeah, and it's just, you know, Cho'Gath's a cool champion, you know, he's cool, but he just doesn't do as much as other tanks.
This is true.
And his damage is not as reliable as other full AP. If he were going full AP, it's not as reliable or offer you as much as other mages. So it's like worst of both worlds.
Yeah, I will say it is pretty snowbally the way that they made his new form.
That's true.
If you get ahead, it's pretty impossible to do anything against him. He'll do a ton of damage if he gets ahead. He'll do a ton of damage while also being incredibly tanky. But if he snowballs, then it's very worst of both worlds.
Yeah.
But if he snowballs, the way that it works with his ultimate, stacking it even faster, which is increasing his damage and his tankiness kind of indirectly on the damage because of the ratio on the ult. But it just makes it pretty beefy.
Yeah, so we're still waiting on votes for this MVP poll.
Yeah.
I'm thinking if we don't get any for a while, then it'll be like the first vote determines it. And if we don't get it for even further, we will just say Trill Boys don't have an MVP. They're all important.
Where they're all special snowflakes. I think we should just call it good.
Call it?
I think we should probably
all right,
call it.
You're
it's pretty
all
easy to vote.
Special.
You're all special.
All right. So that's going to be it for us. Next week, what are we looking at? I guess it would be Diamond and
Probably
Gold.
Diamond
Cap,
and Gold.
Since we streamed Plat Cap twice in a row. So be on the lookout for Diamond and Gold Cap next week. It'll be same time, Sunday at 6 p.m. and then Monday at 6 p.m. So that's going to be it for us.
Yep.
Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you next week. Good night. Now we can just sit here.
Yeah.
For 15 seconds.
Sit here for a minute. All right. We can update some stuff real quick, and then you can want to grab some dinner.